Sorry. Hey, so tonight I'm going to do a reading. I'm going to start with some animal cards and see what comes out. I'm going to, as normal, I'm going to wing it. But like what's coming through, and I'm getting a lot of messages, is like, that a divine partnership, and the basis of like a healthy relationship is friendship, and so that's kind of where my head is going, and the messages that I'm getting is the importance of us understanding what friendship really is. And so I'm going to start with the animals, because like we can learn a lot from the animal wisdom, especially when it comes to authenticity, because animals are naturally authentic, they're themselves, and how we interact with animals, how we approach them, can also say a lot about us and where we're at in the authentic, unconditional acceptance type loving journey. There's lessons there that we can bring into our relationships to help us understand and learn what real unconditional love is, and that that the friendship and that is at its core. So I'm just going to kind of pull some cards and see if that kind of continues to come out, and have a chat about it, see what happens. We'll go with the wild unknown ones to start with. The animal spirits. A lot of people talk about us having animal guides. I believe that. I've actually recently been getting these, like, I've called them micro memories, because they're just like flashes of memories that are really potent, but it's just a flash, and so I can't really catch on to it too much or anything. But it's not my memories, they're like past life memories type things, like flashes of feelings and stuff. And a lot of them have been like animals, like flashes of learning to fly, or feeling that I'm flying like I'm a bird, or that I'm a big cat, like just like I just get the feeling. It's really hard to explain, but I don't know if anyone else has that happen to them. But yeah, I absolutely believe that we've had many lives as other creatures, or we've got guides that we are connected to, or we can connect to animals in a way that puts us, or like connects us with them, so we can experience what they experience. And by being able to do that with animals, putting ourselves in their experience, the level of compassion and connection just ramps up to another, millionth degree. And I think so I think that is what, like, that's such a good practice to start with, in order to put yourself in another person's shoes. And I think, so many of our relationships, it would help so much if we could, have a connect enough and learn to put ourselves in the other person's position to see what life is like for them. Like, it's just next level kind of empathy type, connecting to their experience to understand them better, their point of view, and so you can really understand and connect better. And you know, the funny thing is, like, kids do this all the time, like play games. I used to do it when I was little, like play games where they pretended to be a cat or whatever. You know, you use your imagination to as far as you can imagine, and you know, this is like a meditation almost, imagining that you're an eagle. Like, the power of our mind can do, you know, wondrous things, and the more we practice this skill, the better we become at connecting with, like, anyone. You know, and that goes for our star family as well. Like, you know, like, if you can imagine that you're an eagle, or, you know, a big cat, like a panther, if you can put yourself in another human's shoes to understand what their experience is, you know, like, non-judgmental, you're not you in them, you become them, you know what I mean, to see what, like, their kind of point of view is. And the same thing can be done with our star family, like, to understand what their point of view is, to break down the barriers of, like, us versus them, or separation. And, you know, this is where we get to unity consciousness, is that anyone has the ability to put themselves in another person's experience, to understand them and connect with them and learn from them, because consciousness, like your imagination, your consciousness, if you put your energy there, you're learning the wisdom of that, you know, being. It's like opening a little, or plugging into their station, and to see where it goes, you know, because you know, like, a kind of a part of, like, what I've talked about with my channeling and stuff is this meet you movement, and helping us humans, you know, get into a unity consciousness, like, mindset with each other, like, in order for us then to get into the mindset of connecting with our star family. And, like, this whole kind of thing, I can't believe I'm going here, but anyway, obviously needed. So yeah, like, part of my kind of purpose, my belief in what I am passionate about is that, I mean, you look at the numerous types of animals on this planet and all their different experiences. You can understand that they're all different animals. We accept them for what they are and their experience, and we can absolutely see lessons in each, and, like, you know, the beauty, you know, for example, I'm looking at fox now, so I freaking love foxes, but you know, also other people, they see a darker side to a fox, you know, stealing the chickens out of the hen house type thing. But foxes are, like, so beautiful. You know, we are all animals. We are all animals, with different levels of consciousness. You know, different experiences of consciousness. And, you know, animals, you know, it's such a good way to start learning this way, because then we can relate it to our experience and all the different types of humans there are, and we all have different experiences of reality. We're all 50 shades of grey, a beautiful mix of dark and light, and all, you know, climbing up that hill of hope to be more fulfilled humans, have a more fulfilling, happy experience. Like everyone is trying to do that. And so, you know, obviously as that unity mindset, we all could really open our eyes to all the different experiences of humans, and, you know, have the acceptance of everyone. You know, put yourself in their shoes, and really honestly have a honest, authentic look at yourself and your experience. Like, you know, clearly that, you know, that's first. But by looking at others and animals, you can learn so much about yourself. It kind of all happens, you know, you can all do it all at the same time. There's always lessons there. Like, the more you look in yourself and those around you, and you know, next level, you know, you take that to the attitude that people have to our star family, and you know, that is just the next level of us opening our minds to their experience and the different, you know, the varying species of our star family, and where they've come from and what experiences they've had, you know, to get where they are. And you can see how, you know, there's all these mixed emotions and mixed viewpoints about our star family. You know, obviously most of them, you know, there's a lot of people that are completely open to it, like I am, but there is, you know, and has been for so many years, the fear behind it, and just not, you know, where humans have got this, you know, thing where they, you know, it's how we judge ourselves like this. We judge animals. We put something in a box from a limited mindset way of thinking, and, you know, kind of to solve this, you know, issue, it is to open the heart more, to see us all as creatures having like an animal experience, you know, and really understanding that we're all on the same level, like the animal level. You know what I mean? Like, there's just got to be an openness that every experience is unique and beautiful, and it is all on the same, like all in the same ballpark. There, you know what I mean? Type thing. Anyway, alright. So we've got the black egg came out. The phoenix came out. They're such beautiful cards. I'll show you. The phoenix, black egg, and the raccoon. That immediately makes me think of Guardians of the Galaxy and Rocket. And oh my god, like that last one, I was in tears watching that. Like his Rocket's experience, you know, the animal testing and being made to be extremely intelligent, like ridiculously intelligent, and then, you know, when he became more intelligent than his makers type thing, they just wanted to, you know, kill him because they became jealous of his intelligence. And he was all alone because, you know, a freak type thing, because all the others, you know, like were killed, and he was like he's one of a kind. and, you know, just completely alone until he found his friends like Groot. You know, the other freaky guardians of the galaxy. I can relate. No, but like, yeah, anyway, we'll see what the book says about these ones. Yeah, the sea serpent on the bottom. Raccoon. Talented, shadowy, in hiding. Raccoon energy is at play within all artists, to greater or lesser degrees. At best, it indicates talent, tenacity, and skillfulness with a particular musical instrument or creative tool. Its shadow side points to an unresolved issue around self-image and success. Sometimes using a stage name or wearing a mask works in an artist's favour. Other times, it limits creativity. Am I who my audience thinks I am? What if I am ready to grow into something more? Raccoon energy won't let us off the hook until this creative ego fear is resolved. When in balance, generous friend, exceptional artist. When out of balance, competitive, starving artist. To bring into balance, make new work. The black egg. Speaking from an authentic voice, the truth. The black egg contains one of life's essential treasures, the truth. Inside of it resides no confusion, excuses, small talk, noise, or lies, not even white ones. This living and breathing vessel harbours only that which rings true. When this essence is in balance, we speak slowly and clearly. We are drawn to activities like writing, reading, teaching, singing, or perhaps public speaking. Sounds draw us in, books draw us in, the concept of truth itself draws us in. We start asking questions like, what do I know to be true about myself? And what is true about the world? When the energy of the black egg is not yet accessed, we speak from an unsure place. We say things others want to hear, gossip, or repeat stories to justify our subpar behaviour. We might even try to convince ourselves that we have no inner truth at all. The energy of the black egg hovers and waits for us to reconnect. It is available at every moment, in every situation. It's the epicenter of truth, the birthplace of our voice. The black egg and the fifth chakra. The subtle essence of this card resides at the base of the throat, at the Vishuddha chakra. The ancient sages saw this center as the hub that governs our speech and expression. Vishuddha translates as especially pure. The balance of this center is important for all of us, but is especially essential for writers, editors, musicians, and teachers. It's funny that chakras come up a few times in the last couple of days, actually. I think everyone's having like a major throat truth bomb explosion type thing, which is a really good thing. In Phoenix, freedom from suffering and past karma, reincarnation. The phoenix represents the transformation of our past. It doesn't mean running from it, denying it, or burning bridges with rage. The phoenix employs an advanced technique described in yoga as the burning of impurities through practice and dedication, tapas. The essence of the phoenix is with us when we realize we have been suffering too long and something must change. We take a stand and decide to live consciously instead of being driven by the unconscious mind and its long list of fears and aversions. At that very moment, the spark of the phoenix is lit, and the great bird helps us burn through our baggage. We no longer run from who we are, what has happened to us, or what we have done. The stuckness and dead weight fall into the ashes, and a lightness and clarity emerge. As the stagnancy continues to smoulder, the phoenix lifts our spirits up, and we begin to recognize ourselves. Again, we may catch a glimmer in our eye that wasn't there before. Look closely. It's a sign that fire of transformation is upon your wings. The phoenix and the first chakra. The ancient yogis believe that our heaviest karmas reside in the first chakra. This earthen center is also called Muladhara, or our root. The ascent of the phoenix begins here, and as the entanglement of karmas is slowly burned, it rises from the ash towards the navel center. Again and again, it makes this journey from first to third chakra, purifying our essence, freeing us from the past. It's awakening time, like to find your authenticity. I'm going to do one more animal spirit, and then I'm going to pull a few of my past life energy cards and see if there's any relation, between it. So before I was starting, I was thinking of doing a past life energy, but I guess I might go like, these ones can be current energies for, the collective, like we're all awakening type thing, we're all finding our own truth and clearing ourselves enough to start voicing and becoming our full phoenix, authentic selves. So I'll get some past life cards to, connect with what we've kind of come from and what we've got still kind of let go of. And then I'll get a few of what we're moving into from that. Oh, we got another 3 come out. So we got the cobra, the zebra, and the fox. Alright, we'll see what these ones are. I mean, it might relate to where we've kind of come from. Pausing, waiting, the inner teacher. The cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When in balance, a student of life, humble, wise. When out of balance, know-it-all, egocentric. To bring into balance, taking a class, study. part of this whole like awakening experience and finding your own inner truth is finding truth, which is going and studying, is going to look for the answers, not to just accept someone else's answers given to you your whole lifetime, being told to you. At this point we want to go searching for our own answers, and it's such an important part of the journey in becoming who you want to become, is to search for your own truth and wisdom. Zebra is eccentric, creative, visionary. Zebras are the most precious of gems. They are young at heart, well-cultured, and have an undying curiosity about life. Being in the company of a zebra personality not only is a delight, but also opens our minds. Be prepared, their potent magic is contagious, and you may soon find yourself in a faraway land, expanding your world view while having a blast. Zebras also like to contribute to the global health through environmental or volunteer work. This card may be a hint to pack your bags. Oh, zebra. When in balance, worldly, enthusiastic, fashion forward. When out of balance, jaded, pouty, vain. To bring into balance, an epic adventure, an art. Amen, zebra. And the fox. Smart, strong, partner or mate, wise teacher. The fox is an enchanting creature with plenty of mystique to go around. Fox personalities are skillful in business and also make great teachers. They are quick to learn and adapt well to new situations. Foxes are ideal life partners as they commit to relationships for the long term, and their natural charisma keeps things exciting. Fox energy helps us stay true to those most dear to us. When this card appears, reconnect to those you love. Foxes don't do well when they slip away. When in balance, magical, ingenious, teacher, monogamous. When out of balance, sneaky, unsure of their identity. To bring into balance, partnership, connection. Alrighty. I'm being drawn to the archetype cards. Yeah, I'm just going to go with that, and we'll see what comes out now. I know I've kind of gone in a few different places, it seems, so I'm sure it's all for a reason. Alright, we got the Jester. And the Midwife. And the Survivor. Mooncat. And the Alchemist. So we've got a few more coming ahead. So the Alchemist, the Mooncat, the Survivor, the Jester. Looks like he's divining water there. And the Midwife. Open to the Survivor, so I'll read that one first. The Survivor has been called many names: ragamuffin, urchin, gutter snipe, tatterdemalion, but at his core he's proudly independent forager. Some might try to label him amoral, but when the centre fails to hold and things fall apart, leaving the landscape a wreck of hardship, then the survivor's ethics become apparent. He functions in the gaps left by inequality and has no fear of draconian authority. Always the shrewd pragmatist, he makes certain that he and his companions never starve. Whether it be city, desert, jungle or forest, the survivor is a master in the art of survival. A chameleon who can navigate any territory with ease. He moves by instinct, unearthing whatever he needs. When there's a shortage of food or money, the survivor will find a way to provide. When shelter is needed, he will locate a roof and a dry bed. Never selfish, he's practical and gives without question to his fellow dispossessed. No matter what misfortune chance throws against him, he remains undaunted, turning difficulty to advantage with admirable dexterity. He is independent and refuses point blank to be patronised and oppressed. The world has always produced artful dodgers. From Cannery Row, where Mac and the boys exhibited their oft misplaced generosity and endearing endurance, to the back alleys of Whitechapel, where Fagin taught young Twist the finer arts of fingersmithing. The survivor is the epitome of our indomitable nature and our dogged capacity to adapt and endure. I'm just getting that. It's that revolution vibe of, power to the people, not taking that whole, slave mentality, like no matter what, you're the, self-sovereign. You're a self-sovereign being, no matter what your circumstances or surrounding circumstances are. You will always, you have not given your power away, you hold your power inside. Moon cat. Lithe and low, the cat slips soft-footedly down the old moon's ribbon-pale path. Her pupils expand, widening as the landscape's luminosity grows under a rising gold crescent. Her cousin Phoebe has gifted the cat the freedom to wander wild from dusk to dawn among the rocks and ghosts. Those who walk in moonlight are unrestricted by convention. They do not suffer obligation and are not constricted by any notion of a contrived formality. Instead, they choose their empire of shadows, where no cold-hearted human god demands servitude. The mooncat patrols all corners of the earth, from the abandoned labyrinths of Lima to the gates of Eden, and from the palace at Versailles to the catacombs of Alexandria. Revered by the ancients for their independence, their names are inscribed in the libraries of man. From the sharp-witted Pengol band to the mercurial Minnaloushe, cats have listened to a different drum, a drumbeat that humans can hear only at a great distance. Again, it's a complete self-sovereignty, cat nature. The moon cat's driven by curiosity and intuition. If you align yourself to her, you will learn to grow your innate perception. Invite her into your company, and if the mood takes her, she will show you alternate byways. Follow her padded footsteps and mimic her dancing amber eyes to understand what it is to be free. Her ways are enigmatic and unpredictable, yet far from irrational. So yeah, both those, the survivor and the moon cat, exactly the same there. Maybe a masculine and feminine version of the same spirit, that self-sovereign being. What's next? Midwife. The midwife draws from a deep font of female knowledge. She is a facilitator, the mother to your muse, and an advisor to your craft. She will help you develop the lucidity of your language, give rhythm to your music, and breathe vibrancy into your painting. With her guidance, your works will be filled with vitality, but without her, your attempts at creation will be as dead as clay golems. With supple fingers and a firm grip on practicality, she tends us, offering experience and insight. The midwife blows gently on the sparks of our ideas, encouraging us to carry concept to fruition. She welcomes our births and our struggle to breathe. She feeds our never-ending hunger for truth, and she wraps us in consolation when our finest dreams collapse. Her knife cuts the umbilical cord that sets in motion our coil-sprung carbon and calcium hearts. She has helped launch 1,000,000 creations. She has fed the hungry artists and held the hand of the mothers and fathers. The midwife brings an old knowledge to the table. Her wisdom travels back through all history, and her gift is one of understanding. She will help you separate cliché from originality, significance from sentiment, and passion from hedonism. She is the good mother, wise and calm in times of danger. She carries in her chest the seeds of beauty, vitality, and life. I'm getting like how I started this with my kind of mission statement of kind of where I see that, you know, humanity needs to, what we need to heal and connect with in order to really connect with it all, like the unity consciousness. Like each of these are really beautiful role models that, and you know, archetypes of the, you know, the people or the roles that are needed to teach us, you know, to share the wisdom, for us to connect with that wisdom in order to teach ourselves, to expand our consciousness and connect further with our, you know, with those around us, and, you know, just like at a greater capacity, like at a, to be better humans, to be better beings, to be more conscious beings, more connected beings, more contributing beings. Yeah. So we got Ancestor and Alchemist. The jester may act like a fool, but he is far from being one. A philosopher clown with an ironic sense of humour. He refuses to be misdirected by the whims of kings, unlike the puckish trickster who is dedicated to causing insightful mischief. The jester takes a wider view of existence. His wit is at root profound, and his eyes are open to both the grandeur and the futility of existence. Hopping absurdly from one leg to the other, the jester pulls gargoyle-esque faces, pretending to be simple-minded. He intentionally places himself at the bottom of the pecking order. Wearing his traditional uniform of motley, he clowns and squawks in foolish dialects, but beneath his buffoon cry, the words he utters speak to truth. How else can he get away with mocking the esteemed assembly for their bloated pomp and selfish opinions? When the company is tired or dejected, the jester will lift everyone with laughter, encouraging and cajoling them to see things with a lighter heart. And when chaos threatens and disillusion sets in, he introduces a fresh, alternative perspective. But if you ask him directly for advice, he will reply with a wry wink. If you have come to a fork in the road, take it. The jester is an inverter of pitches, an anti-pedant whose role is to name the sense within nonsense and muddy the waters with his clarity. And what do you call the, you know, it's a stirrer. trying to think of that word, the breaking boundaries by really showing the absurdity of everything, not to take anything too seriously. Yeah, like to make people see that there's so many different other ways to view things. Like there's millions of ways. So, you know, and I think that's a big thing with these cycle breakers and the stirrers and the, I can't think of the term, but I think it's a popular one at the moment for the it was in a movie that I watched the other day, but I can't remember what it is now. Anyway, yeah, what was I saying? Like, you know, such a large issue in society is that people are locked in such narrow-minded viewpoints, experiences, and you know, these stirrers and cycle breakers and everything, they, you know, they come in with kind of a, or you know, in this case it's just like a ridiculously foolish display, but it is a jarring mix-up. It stirs things up to get people to see that there is more than their one little narrow-minded view, because if we all have these narrow-minded views, we're not expanding our minds, our consciousness, our imaginations in order to be able to connect with the insanely infinite viewpoints of people on the planet and out off planet and animals. Like, in order to raise your consciousness and open your heart and mind, you have to be able to see all the viewpoints, like 360, you know what I mean? Like to at least accept that there's that many, and it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, it unlocks, you know, people need to be unlocked from their narrow-minded viewpoint. Like, as soon as you unlock yourself, you're free to be you, for a start. Like, that is part of the awakening, when you unlock your viewpoint. And then you realize that you are literally free to be you. Everyone is, and that is the point. And this is kind of the role of you know, the stirrers and the jesters type thing, is that we're all bloody free. And the point of this life is to be you, and just be the beautiful you that you are, free of anyone else's saying that you have to do it this way, which is not your way, you know. And we've got the Alchemist. The Alchemist has the capacity to open your eyes and show you beyond the mundane to the great window that looks out on the unfolding universe. His is a spiritual philosophy, a pursuit of eternal life, found by living in a state of constant wonder and presence. Enlightened alchemy is and always has been a search for truth, not a pseudo-scientific hunt for wealth. In its purest form, it expresses itself as a quest for eternal life in the form of unified opposites. And so the alchemist searches with diligence, leaving no periodic table unturned, striving to look beyond his peripheral vision. In a narrow alleyway, he stares up at the flecks of dust that float within a shaft of light. He considers these microcosmic specks that mirror 100 million worlds, each as meaningful a reality as the one we trade in. His thoughts wander. He tries to grasp the fleeting notion that he's standing on such a dust fleck, but his vision of hermetic rebellion against the mundane cannot be contained in daily language. Returning to his chamber, he draws a convoluted diagram of oscillating symbols that revolve around a golden dream. He is a visionary, and as such is a threat to comfortable thought. Powerful institutions, including the state and the church, demonized his predecessors, their vested interests directed towards suppressing contrary thought. Yet he has survived isolation and contrived misrepresentation to instruct us in the parallax ways of worldly comprehension. It's exactly what I was saying. Like, it's big picture thinking. And, you know, the absolute beauty of that, and realizing that there is just too many people enslaved in this mindset, narrow-minded mindset of what is allowed because of their history, this past life energy that we've all got stuck inside us of being condemned for being different. But you know, those times are gone, and like I said, power to the people. We have the power. Viva la revolution. You know, they're not getting away with that shit anymore. And it is now that we really do have to come out of the closet. We have to break these boundaries. We have to finally remove them for good. But you just can't get away with that shit anymore. Telling someone that they can't dress a certain way, or telling someone that they can't love a certain person, or, you know, I mean, that's fucking, like, you know, what right do you have to control anyone else? No one has the right to tell you who you should be other than yourself. It's freedom. It's self-sovereignty, freedom, authenticity, self-expression, creativity, expansion, being allowed to expand yourself in any way which you want to do, you know, freedom, personal freedom. And, you know, connecting and bringing back this a beautiful understanding of the, you know, the joys in that, and the beautiful connections that we can have with Earth, with all, with our star family, with each other, with animals, with the elements. You know, it's time we allowed ourselves to become more evolved. We've been hammered down so we don't evolve these inner connections, inner gifts, that we don't connect with our gifts, and that has slowed us down so bad. We have essentially been hog-tied and put in a box, and, you know, and now, you know, the ties are coming undone. We're breaking out of the box, and we're now realizing that we actually do as soon as we're out of that, we realize, you know, we can get out of the box. We're all realizing that these gifts are just naturally coming back to us, like they've always been in us, and it's just because we've been hammered down for too long that they've been suppressed. And like as soon as you realize that you're free to be you, there is just this evolution within the body of raising your consciousness allows you access to these innate gifts of connection within us, which is pretty fucking amazing. And it's just, I mean, it is really terrible that, you know, to think that we've been suppressed and isolated and boxed in, farmed, you know, like trained through like some past life, like terrible things, like, you know, like in the past people would, you know, whip a horse or to train them, and so they fear you, they fear being a wild, you know, a wild animal, they fear their anything, so that they effectively get broken. And you know, we've been broken, and we have to unbreak ourselves. We have to, you know, heal that trauma. And like I was talking about, you know, with the bear the other day, and being put in forced hibernation type thing, and you know, now we are all waking up, and it's such a beautiful thing. So yeah, see if we get a couple of nice little messages to finish off maybe. So what's some good things that are going to be coming because of all this change in energy? What is about to happen for us all? We've got a Zen garden, inner sanctuary. Yeah, it's beautiful, like being able to give yourself like that level of inner security and connection, like, you know, within yourself when you do escape the box, healing, reconnecting with your true nature. And yeah, and the connecting with the earth, like when you connect with yourself and realize you're a part of it, like you're a part of the animal kingdom, you're a part of the earth and the elemental. You are literally part of it, and it feels like your home, like that. So it's not, you know, like the earth provides the home. The animals are. You're connected to the animals, and it's such a homecoming experience. And you know, the star family as well, like the most beautiful homecoming experience when I connected to them. Like, it's just unbelievable how, like, we were cut off from that for so long, and you know, feeling it, realizing that was like always there, and understanding that that's what, you know, the American Indians talk about, and finally understanding what that is, like we all have it, and it is there. It's such a magical experience, to connect with it. Liberation, breaking free from negative attachment. And you know, that negative attachment that we're releasing is like, you know, what's that condition when the people that like kidnap you and you become attached to your kidnappers? That kind of syndrome. That is what the mindset we have to break. We've been conditioned and trained and broken in for too long that we relate more to our captors than ourselves, and so we have to rediscover ourselves. And it is like this PTSD type experience of, you know, healing that trauma from our captivity kind of thing. And we've got sacred journey, life cycles, family, transformation. I'm kind of getting with that, like, it really helped me to understand the whole thing, because you really do have to zoom out and look at what's happened over the thousands of years, like the process of how this went, and not just looking from that observer kind of viewpoint, without trying not to have too many emotional reactions or judgmental. It's more of a kind of just a logical kind of observer understanding of what's been going on, you know, to get where we are now. And then, you know, if you look at it from a very far out viewpoint and you look at the entire situation and what's happened, you can kind of see where we're going as well, where we need to go, and how much it is changing. And you can do that with the whole relationship. I've done it with the relationship of men and women as well, and that, looking at that like from a really zoomed out long, I'm talking about thousands of years, like looking at the process of the dynamics between men and women and relationships in general, that, like, looking at that long journey that men and women have been on in relationships, if you really zoom out and you look at both sides of the picture from an observer mindset, that, like, doing that really helped me understand and helped me heal my own personal kind of pain body surrounding what has gone on with that, like over that many thousands of years, what has been going on both sides. Because let's face it, I mean, I would have had past lives as men, and, you know, we've all copped it from both sides, and we have all that pain and shame and guilt within us that, you know, we need to let go of. And looking at the big picture from both sides, just logically, to understand what has happened without attaching or having emotional reactions to it, just understanding what has happened, then you kind of decide how you feel about it and where you want to go with it, what you want to take forward. So it's like, you need to look at it all in order to say, how do I feel about that? Where am I at now? And how do I want to move forward with my relationships and my relationship dynamics? Like, what do I truly believe about men and women, and what a relationship could be, should be, you know, what I'll accept in my life and what I want in my life. And, you know, it's the same with, you know, big picture, you know, truth, freedom, self-sovereignty, like your big picture views of where you want, what you want to see in society, what you want your life to be like zooming out and having a look at it and then deciding how you feel about it, and what you want to take forward and what you want to leave there, like what you believe for yourself you want in your life. And it's at this point of the awakening of, when you really truly go searching for your truth and your answers. And such a big part of what helped me was that massive zoom out, massive. And because I was also, you know, connecting with our staff family, so I zoomed out. You know, you have to zoom out way, way, way back to see the big picture of that. And that's such a good way to detach your, you know, little human emotion, but your personal ego attachment to anything by zooming out and seeing big picture. And then you got to go with your soul big picture as well, which is even further zoomed out. And you know, by zooming out that far, all the way up, it kind of almost automatically heals or, you know, releases attachment to this right here, like me right now. Because when I zoomed out that far, like my daily little whinges and stuff that I just don't want to deal with, or blah blah blah, like none of that, like it really gets your priorities straight. And it takes away so much fear, because I've zoomed out so far that I've, you know, gone back to the freaking dawn of time to see what my viewpoint and where I was at, like from that perspective. And when you go that far out, and you come back in here, you're like a different person. So really zooming out mentally as far as you can go, and thinking about how you feel about all the different viewpoints from as far out as you can go. That's expanding your realm of realization, your realm of your bubble. Like if your bubble's that big, like this bubble right here, it changes the way you deal with this little bubble right here. When you can take your bubble all the way out and all the way back millions of years, when you come back to this bubble, it is like, it is life-changing. Apprehension, moving out into the world, doubt, fear. I mean, like what I was just saying, like that big picture zooming out is such an amazing teaching tool and healing tool to release this apprehension and fear that so many of us are stuck in, and in our little bubbles down here, like our little 3D immediate reality bubbles. Nine of Hearts, fulfillment, harmony, protection. And Sacred Earth Mother, a message of love. Yeah. I mean, the level of love in this connection, when you really connect with it, it is mind-blowing, and that fucking changes you on the spot as well. I like to feel that. Oh, we've got another one for Joe Ray, I think. No. The Temptress, seduction. Jewel within a teardrop, appreciation, spiritual and emotional reconnection. Now these ones are the healing waters. Let's get a couple more. clear waters, clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. Cosmic ocean, current dreams, future realities, new beginnings. The water oracle, psychic abilities, acting on visions, it's destined. The waterfall, inner power, unbridled confidence, claiming your place. Cleansing, releasing the old, energetic tune-up, new beginnings. Follow the stream, dedication, trust, future rivers and oceans. Yeah, it's like all about looking forward, releasing the past. Mother of the salt waters, passion, wild love, open your heart, let love in. The water carrier, what really matters, reflect, reprioritize. Water codes, ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. And that's the absolute truth. When you reconnect with that and realize that it is all within you, when when you really set yourself free and break out of that cage, it all comes flooding back, all this stuff, and it is just mind-blowing, beautifully mind-blowing and amazing. So keep up the good work.